In a world full of takers, I'm done playing nice. Gave my heart to the wreckage, but they all roll the dice. Helping hands, they just spit, so I cut the string. Let them drown in the lessons, they don't want the sting. Let them die, let them burn. Watch the fire ignite. Let them go, let them burn. Watch the fire ignite. Let them go, let them learn on their own. You did what you had to, now let it be known. Stop feeling guilty, shine bright on your way. Those who belong will come back one day. Come back one day. I've been full of the love and the nurture they seek, but tough love's a crime to the weak and the meek. Flip the switch, now I'm walking away from the grind. I'm paving my path, leave them lost if they're blind. It's not my job to carry, let them stand tall. Let them go, let them burn, watch the fire ignite. Let them go, let them learn on their own. You did what you had to, now let it be known. Stop feeling guilty, shine bright on your way. Those who belong will come back one day. It's my job to carry, let them stand tall. Let them go, let them learn on their own. You did what you had to, now let it be known. Stop feeling guilty, shine bright on your way. Those who belong will come back one day. So walk on by, let them face their own plight. This season's for you, go ahead, claim your life. Oh, 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 let you learn on their own, on their own. Come back one day. Oh, oh. One day. Let them go, let them go, let them learn on their own. You did what you had to, now let it be known. Stop feeling guilty, shine bright on your way. Those who belong will come back one day. Come back one day. Come back one day. Learn on their own, on their own. On their own. Don't go back one day. Don't go back one day. People come and people go, like shadows in the evening glow. Whispers here and there they go, empty promises they boast. Can't rely on fleeting whims, falling through the cracks again. Trust is something they don't know, always drifting with the flow. Flaky people break my stride, never know just where they hide. Think they're stars but they ain't bright, better fix it, get it right. Show up late and then they're gone, singing the same tired song. Never serious, never true, got no clue what they should do. Think the world revolves around them, but they ain't worth a single gem. Lost in their own hollow fame, playing such a tiresome game. Flaky people break my stride, never know just where they hide. Think they're stars but they ain't bright, better fix it, get it right. Better fix it, get it right. Better fix it, get it right. Flaky people break my stride, never know just where they hide. Think they're stars but they ain't bright, better fix it, to fix it, get it right. It's Tech Coach Ralph TV. Yeah, men lying, women lying, numbers manipulate. Don't matter what no one say, I throw the stats away. No need for calculators, we already greater. No need to validate us. It's Tech Coach Ralph TV. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop the yawning. But I get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Yeah, number manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. A beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning, at least down here in South Florida and probably in California. I don't know about the other parts, maybe the Midwest, maybe New York, maybe Massachusetts. It might be snowing, it might be freezing up there, but nonetheless, we are here this morning. What's up? What's up? What's up? How is everyone doing today? I have all my friends in the building already. Let me just go down. Let me just do it. I'm going to take attendance. I am going to take attendance. I'm going to start from the top. We got my guy, Mr. Technique. What's up, Yakar? How are you doing today? We have Magnetar. We have Magnetar from Magnetar was in the chat at 4 a.m. in the morning. Shout out to you, Magnetar. We got Roxy in the building. Roxy on the scrubs. What's up, Roxy? Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got my guy, Darcel, in the building. What's up, Darcel? How are you doing today? We got Alexis in the building. Good morning, Alexis. Hopefully you're doing well. The wealth building journey here to trip me up with all his 10-syllable words. And who else? And that is just about everybody. Yes, we are in Tech-onomics class, the wealth building journey. We are in Tech-onomics class. All right, so I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are engineered to win. Did you guys like my sweater that YouTube sent me? YouTube sent me the sweater, right? I'm not much of a sweater person, but I was grateful for YouTube, and they sent me this sweater. I was like, I'll wear it. I will wear it to say thank you to YouTube for their sweater. All right. So this is the Saturday morning show where we're going to review the weekly Tech-onomics numbers. It's the men lie, women lie, but numbers, what do numbers do? Numbers manipulate. And we're going to go for 2 hours today because we have a lot of data points, but I also want to do a quick review, probably spend about 10 to 15 minutes going over what happened with this whole government shutdown. I have a video that, I don't even know who the person is, but Elon Musk reshared it. So I want to watch that video. It's about 8 minutes. And then we're going to watch a couple of videos, short videos, about 2 minutes about what these Congress people are saying about this whole shutdown. All of that good stuff. And I was able to get Magnetar's AI generated song completed. So I told him when he shows up, I will play it. It's called King Snitcher. It's actually pretty amazing, I must say. And then this morning I was listening to some of the songs that Don made, and he has a very, very creative way of making his AI song. So I think my next AI album will be even better. Can you believe? Alexa, can you believe that my next AI album will be even better? She's gonna be like, of course I can believe that. Don't answer that, Alexa. Do me a favor. Don't answer that. All right. Anyhow. All right. We're gonna do a quick rundown of what's going on in the chat real quick, and then we're going to get into this video. Quick announcements. We're going to be going live tomorrow. We're going to be working on Kubernetes using Minikube to do it locally before we actually do it on the cloud. All that good stuff. I'm going to get that scheduled, and pretty much regular show schedules for the rest of the week. I'll probably just do Tuesday a little bit earlier in the day because it is Christmas Eve. So probably not going to go like at our regular 7:30. I'll schedule it, but we're still going to do our regular show. All that good stuff. All right. So let me check the chat, and then we will get to it. All right. So your car had some early comments. So some early comments about the government shutdown. The first comment was from Magnetar. He says shutdown is averted, and that's why I said in the title that Magnetar was right, because in the yesterday he said that they're gonna wait till like 11:59 and they're gonna pass something, and that's what they do every single year. All right. But your car also had some comments. We're going to read those comments before, and then we're going to check them after we watch the video as well. So your car says, Mike Johnson needs to be fired from being the Speaker of the House. He pretended to be on Trump's side, but pushed it through anyways. We will hear about a new Speaker of the House nomination soon.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Your car also says that the government shutdown is not over. Biden could not sign it and send it back with changes. We have to learn the political process and not read headlines that agree with us like they're facts. I agree with that too. I also agree with you, your car. But at this point, Biden might just sign anything. He might just sign anything. So who knows? But I do agree with you, your car. And let me see. We got Roxy in the building. Let me see. Anything other that we haven't read yet? Let's see. Oh yeah, by the way, the album, everything has been approved. It is set to drop on Christmas at midnight. At midnight, it is going down. So be ready. It's going to be on pretty much all streaming platforms. So just be ready for it. Be ready for it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. All right. Let's see. I thought I knew Ralph. I thought I knew until Ralph played this. What did I play? I don't know. What did I play? What's going on the wealth building journey? Let's see. Your car says it's a high of 65 and all sunshine, no clouds. Boo to the Detroit weather. He does sound like a hater. He does sound like a hater. But guess what, Roxy? I'm probably a hater too because we have the same exact weather down here in South Florida that your car has over in California. Your car likes my sweater. Thank you. I appreciate it. The Wealth Building Journey also likes the sweater. I appreciate it. Alexis likes the sweater. Thank you. Was any child labor used in making that sweater? Quite possibly. I mean, I don't know. It's quite possible. It says King Snitcher. I did say, let me make sure. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. It is, where is it? Yep, King Snitcher. That was what Magnetar sent me, and I made it into an AI song. It sounds, I love it. You know. But we got Fanny P in the building. Welcome back, Fanny P. Welcome back. Let's hear it. Let's clap. You know what? We're gonna do a full clap for Fanny. We have a lot of work to do in 2025, so let's get it.
Let's get it.
Which is I work for GovCon and can confirm this is accurate. 11th hour politics. Let me see. Says I'm almost done with the 2 drafts. Awesome. I will update it. Just whenever you're ready, send it over. I will get it updated. Let's see. All right. Enough fun and games. Let's get into this first video. All right. Let's get into this first video that I don't know who the person is per se, but it was he did a breakdown of why there like, so quick recap, right? And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a bipartisan, and whenever I hear bipartisan, I get nervous, right? I really get nervous at bipartisan, but there was a bipartisan continuing resolution bill approved, and it was 1,500 pages. Yes, 1,500 pages. All right. How many people think that the 535 Congress people and the 100 senators, how many of you guys actually think they read those 1,500 pages, right? But Vivek Ramaswamy, he read it and he was like, what the hell is this? And then Elon Musk was like, I don't know about this. And then now people started to read it like, oh, no. So that's the backdrop. And then Trump just stepped in. He's like, nope, not happening. And then now the Congress went into a frenzy on like 2 days ago. So I want to watch this video that breaks down what happened. Not saying one side. It's 435. Yes, 435 House of Representatives and 100 senators. Thank you, Wealth Building. Thank you. All right, but let's watch this real quick. And well, it might not be quick. It's about 8 minutes. And then we will go from there. All right. So where is it? There we go. All right. So Elon Musk shared this video, and I wanted to
Congress failed to pass a budget bill, and it looks like we might be heading for a government shutdown. And in large part, this is due to the influence of Elon Musk. Now, depending on how you feel about Elon, you might view this as a positive or a negative thing. And in this video, I'm going to give you comprehensive context on what exactly is going on. And I'm also going to offer you my perspective on the influence of Elon, billionaires more generally, and the legislative process. First, here are the facts. Every year, Congress has from about February until October 1st to pass a bill for the following year. So this year in 2024, they were forming the budget for 2025. However, if they miss that October 1st deadline, then they form what's called a CR bill, or continuing resolution bill. That bill is meant to be a temporary measure so that maintains the prior year's levels of funding in order to prevent a government shutdown. And they need to pass that bill before December 20th, when all the Congress people go home for Christmas, in order to ensure that the government doesn't shut down. Now,
So other than the Wealth Building Journey, how many people knew about the process of how the CR gets created? If Congress does not do their job between February and October of passing a spending bill, then they do a continuing resolution. So they don't do any work from February to October, and then from October to December 20th, they run like chickens with their head cut off to try to get this CR passed. So I didn't know that's how CRs came about. I always heard CR, and I never really knew the process. So I am learning from a guy who looks like he has a tie wrapped around his head. So that was the first thing that I thought. I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. From a guy who looks like he's in the middle of the woods with a tie wrapped around his head. I'm like, I feel like I should have known this. All right, let's keep going.
The concept of a government shutdown sounds bad, but it's pretty common. There have been 21 government shutdowns in the last 50 years. And even during a government shutdown, essential services are still maintained, like the operation of our military or Social Security. So in this case, the CR bill typically would have just mimicked 2024 levels of funding for 2025. However, there's several things that make this year unique. First is its length. It's 1,547 pages long, and only 8 of them are actually CR bill. The rest of it is about supplemental funding and legislation. The second thing is that rather than just maintaining 2024 levels of funding, there's actually $100 billion extra allocated to this CR bill. Most of that $100 billion is for disaster relief, and that $100 billion constitutes a 6% increase over 2024's budget. Now, you might not have any issues with that, but what's raising hackles is the fact that most Congress people had less than 24 hours to read the entire 1,500-page bill. Most Congress people were given the bill on December 17th and expected to vote on it less than 24 hours later on December 18th. This is because both Democratic and Republican leadership in the House formed the bill, but that process wasn't transparent to the rest of the Congress people. On top of all that, there were specific provisions in the bill that many people objected to, like, for example, the fact that it gave a pay increase to members of Congress. Now, it's worth noting that the pay increase is relatively modest, around 3%, and it's a cost of living increase. That said, many people objected to the fact that Congress people would be giving themselves a pay increase at all, given the state of the country and the fact that many people are struggling to get their bills paid. There's also the fact that the bill would allow Congress people to be exempt from Obamacare, even though the average American is not. Or the fact that the bill allocates funding for the Global Engagement Center, which many people have critiqued.
So just to add in, so they wanted to get a pay increase for the work that they did between October to the last minute of December 20th. I mean, they could have worked that pay increase in there from between February and October at a regular spending bill. I'm just saying, and I don't know, like they always find a way not to suffer like the rest of us are suffering. So, anyways.
As a propaganda instrument and censorship instrument that has been used against the American people and now is getting even more funding. Now, I think it's fair to say that under normal circumstances, the vast majority of Americans would not have any idea what a CR bill is, or the fact that it's being passed, or the fact that it's 1,500 pages and Congress people are given less than 24 hours to read it. But what's unprecedented about this is that Elon Musk heard about it and started posting a lot about the whole situation on X. Because Elon has such a huge following, that caused many people to get into an uproar. And it caused many people to start pressuring their congresspeople and calling their congresspeople to have the CR bill not passed. And for the record, I called Representative Mike Johnson, who is the leader of the Republicans in the House, to express my personal disapproval for the manner in which the CR bill is being passed. And if you feel the same, I recommend that you take action by calling his office too. What Elon and many people were objecting to is the manner in which the CR bill was being passed, the content of the CR bill, and the timeline for the CR bill being passed as well. And the CR bill did have bipartisan support from leadership of the Democrats and the Republican Party. Now, that leadership has argued that this is a bipartisan bill, and the $100 billion extra is needed for disaster relief that the American people have wanted for months. But I would argue, if that's the case, pass disaster relief as a separate bill, rather than making it part of a 1,500-page behemoth that none of you are even actually reading. And regardless, this is just a fundamentally broken process. We have politicians using money that is not theirs to give themselves pay raises and paying for things that they haven't even read using our money on things that we can't afford. Now, some people have objected to Elon Musk's influence, particularly Democrats. And to that, I'd respond with 3 things. One, on the partisan angle, there's actually a 2-to-1 ratio of Democratic donors to Republican donors who are billionaires. In fact, in the 2024 election, the Kamala campaign had $1 billion that they spent, whereas the Trump campaign had $400 million. But partisanship aside, Elon is actually quite unique in that we can actually see the influence that he's having in large part. Because in this particular case, his influence was simply using his voice and amplifying it to his large audience. And in reality, it was not just Elon saying that he opposes this, it was the people agreeing that they also oppose the CR process as well. Now, I think it's reasonable to be skeptical of anyone's influence, billionaire or not. And Elon certainly has a lot of influence, and some of it we can't see and is not transparent. But in this particular case, we can see exactly what he was standing for. And his individual voice only helped amplify the voices of millions of people who disagreed with this entire dysfunctional process. Now, on the flip side, do we get to see any of the influence of George Soros or Bill Gates or many of these Democratic mega donors or Republican mega donors for that matter on the democratic process? But all of that aside, I think this is actually a tremendously positive development for all of America. So many of us have become disillusioned with politics because we feel like politicians don't have our best interests in mind, and we feel like no matter who's in office, nothing seems to change. But what's changed this time is that we have a degree of transparency and a public square in X where we can actually speak up and we can actually be listened to if enough of us actually exercise our power as a people. I mean, look at what happened. Elon Musk lit his watchtower, and then the rest of us did as well. And
All right, I think that's good enough for now. Pretty much got the gist of why Elon Musk. I don't want to say stepped in, but he pretty much made people aware of what was being signed. And here's a question, right? Here's a question, and I'll go back to full. So here's a question about this whole spending bill thing. 1,500 pages, right? Would these Congress people, senators, House of representatives, would they sign anything else that they had no idea what it was? Like if they were signing something that was like personal to them, would they just sign it without knowing what it is? But when it like, I don't know, I think that, or I hope that people make better decisions when it's their own money and their own life on the line, instead of when it's just like the public, like our money, So, and that's why for me, I'm always like skeptical about this whole government and bipartisan. I don't know when, like Wealth Journey says, like, oh, they said bipartisan equals some type of something's not good. If they agree, something's not good, and so now you have like these people getting upset that, oh, they just made us aware of what's going to be signed. The guy in the video said that it's the CR was about 10 pages or something like that, or 30 pages, whatever, however much it was. And then the whole rest was a bunch of other stuff that had nothing to do with it. So they could have passed like a 10-page document from the beginning and called it a day, but no, right? So with that being said, at the last minute yesterday, the House of Representatives, they agreed on a continuing resolution which they figured out between October and December 20th at the last minute. So we're gonna go watch this video real quick now, like 2 videos about the whole process, and then we're going to go to the chat, and then we're gonna move on with our regularly scheduled program. All right, so we have
Congress failed to pass a budget bill.
that we have. So this is Yakar's favorite person. The person he's calling to be fired, Mike Johnson, speaking after the House passes the interim spending bill. And that's what they do every year. It's like they never really pass a spending bill. They just continue to do a continuing resolution over and over and over again, right? But let's take a quick watch. It's about 2 minutes.
Priority for us. This is America First legislation because it allows us to be set up to deliver for the American people. In January, we will make a sea change in Washington. President Trump will return to D.C. and to the White House, and we will have Republican control of the Senate and the House. Things are going to be very different around here. This was a necessary step to bridge the gap, to put us into that moment where we can put our fingerprints on the final decisions on spending for 2025. We also, in this bill, as you know, took care of Americans who desperately needed and deserved the assistance. We had a record hurricane season. Hurricanes Helene and Milton in particular did dramatic damage across at least 6 states, the Carolinas and Virginia, from Florida, Tennessee, all the way through. And they have been waiting for the federal government to assist. We did that tonight in this bill. We also took care of our farmers, many of whom are on the brink of collapse because of Biden-onomics, frankly, because the inflationary cost of their inputs and the inability they have right now to get loans from the banks and the lenders to put their crops in the ground, to put the seeds in the ground in the spring. So we had to take care of that, and we did. We are excited about this outcome tonight. We're grateful that everyone stood together to do the right thing. And having gotten this done now as the last order of business for the year, we are set up for a big and important new start in January. We can't wait to get to that point. We encourage swift passage in the Senate now. They need to do their job as the House just did. We will all go home. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year, because I hope not to see you until we get back after that. I was in constant contact with President Trump throughout this process, spoke with him most recently about 45 minutes ago. He knew exactly what we were doing and why, and this is a good outcome for the country. I think he certainly is happy about this outcome as well. Elon Musk and I talked within about an hour ago, and we talked about the extraordinary challenges of this job. And I said, hey, you want to be Speaker of the House? I don't know. He said, this may be the hardest job in the world. I think it is. But we're going to get through this. We are going to unify this country, and we are going to bring the America First agenda to the people beginning in January. We cannot wait to get started. I hope you all have a great holiday.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to...
All right, now we're going to check out Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee, I believe. I think he's from Tennessee, and he is talking about how he feels about this whole thing, all right? And you know, he gets pretty emotional. He gets pretty emotional on this, all right? So let's take a watch.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. I did my usual video as I left the House floor, but it was terrible and I wasn't prepared, didn't have a lot of the great details in it I wanted to give y'all. I voted against it. We said we were going to do separate bills. That's what everybody wanted. Dadgum, of course we didn't do it. We loaded it all up together. There was $5.7 billion in there for submarines. There was $100 million for the Coast Guard. Not sure what that was in there. There was the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Remember the bridge in Maryland got hit by a barge, and the barge was insured, but still we're putting, it doesn't make sense. Why are we putting money in that? It doesn't make any sense to me. And of course the $100 million in there for disaster relief. Where did they come up with the $100 million figure? Those people are doing without. Granted, that's a lot of money, but we don't trust this administration with a nickel, and we're going to give them $100 billion to play with for 30 days. And the president just now gave a billion to Ecuador, but nobody's really sure what that's about. And another billion, of course, went to Ukraine without our input. So anyway, it's just a...
Ecuador? Where'd that come from? How did Ecuador get $1 million out of this? All right.
CR is just a continuation of bad spending policies that Schumer and Pelosi. And the odd thing is, they got on the floor and said they were going to be against it. The Democrats were going to be against it. And a huge number voted for it. I'm not sure any of them even voted against it. And then, of course, all the Republicans jumped in. I just feel like we got played. It's just doesn't make any sense with them trashing it and then all voting for it. That makes you feel like something went wrong. Anyway, we'll keep fighting. The government stayed open. And hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. And all my Jewish buddies out there, hope y'all have a very happy Hanukkah.
Dang. That is the look. Let me go back real quick. That is the look of a defeated person right there. Oh my God. Like, he looks so depressed right there. He's like, I don't know. He looks so defeated. I feel bad. I actually feel bad for him. Mr. Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee. Sorry, guys. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. All right. Last video where the Senate, they're talking about the Senate approving it at the very last minute. And then we'll move on with our lives, all right?
Breaking news tonight from Capitol Hill. Just a short time ago, the Senate approved a bill to avert a prolonged government shutdown and ensure government services will continue uninterrupted. Good evening. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carla Chiquetto. This comes just hours after the House overwhelmingly voted to pass that measure with wide bipartisan support.
CBS 8's Elizabeth Sanchez talked with local representatives in Washington who are very relieved tonight. Elizabeth?
Yeah, talk about a last-minute deal. And just after that midnight deadline passed, a spending bill that the House passed earlier. You know, it's not everything everyone wanted, and there was a give and take, but both local representatives I talked with say this stops a government shutdown that would have been costly.
The bill is passed.
With that, the House passed 366 to 34 in favor of a revised plan averting a government shutdown.
We are excited about this outcome tonight. We're grateful that everyone stood together to do the right thing. And having gotten this done now as the last order of business for the year, we are set up for a big and important new start in January.
The bill funds the federal government at current levels through March and includes $100 billion in disaster relief aid, about $10 billion for relief from California wildfires. Also included was $250 million to help fix the South Bay wastewater treatment plant.
We got the money that we needed to complete the project down in San Diego, in South San Diego, in the Tijuana River Valley. So we have now the full amount of money that we're supposed to have to complete the project down there, and I'm very excited about that.
Representative Juan Vargas says they will be pushing Mexico to complete the project on their side of the border to deal with the cross-border pollution. Meanwhile, raising the debt ceiling that President-elect Trump had pushed Congress for did not pass. Representative Mike Levin says the original bipartisan agreement had been negotiated for weeks by the House and Senate in good faith, but it was a give and take.
There was a lot of unnecessary drama since Tuesday. And ultimately, the people that would have suffered most are our active duty military, our Border Patrol agents, our air traffic controllers and TSA employees, because they would have been forced to work without pay over the holidays.
The Senate has been busy tonight, passing a number of different things. Once the Senate approves the spending bill, it still has to go to President Biden for a signature.
And I know, Elizabeth, a lot of people are wondering about pediatric cancer because that was cut.
All right, so that is the spending bill, the continuous resolution, passing the Senate. The House did something. When I hear 336 people agreed, I get worried. I'm like, all right, somebody's getting a lot of money. Somebody's getting a lot of money, and it's not me, and it is not me. But they're gonna go after all the PPP loan scammers, though. All right. Anyways, whatever. Let me check the chat, and then we're going to get to work. All right. Let me see. So yeah, the World Journey says bipartisan equals corruption for days. Yep. 435 House of Representatives and 100 Yep. I was, when I said I was thinking 535 House, but yeah, you're right. 435 House and 100 senators. That's why I said that's where I came up with the 535. Your question says the smart people can scan. The smart people can scan the pages into digital. Oh, that's what he meant to say. This one right here. The smart people can scan the pages into digital text, then do keyword searches to find what they are trying to hide. I actually watch most of my videos at 2x, but I wouldn't play it on the stream at 2x. People would like just lose their mind. Let's see. It says it's staged. He is in Louisiana. That's how the parks look in the more desert areas. Don't feel bad. It's like kind of being a billionaire and wearing socks, shoes, and tights make you wonder. I was like, when I watched him, like, he has a tie wrapped around his head. Let's see. Good point over here. The World Journey says, but a 3% increase on 174,000 and 233 for the Speaker of the House is a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
Money.
That is a big. I mean, it's not like that. It's not like if you're making 50K and then you get a 3% raise and you're like, oh, I got a 3% raise. No, 174K and 3%. That's a pretty big raise. It says, technically speaking, since Trump only spent $400 million versus Harris's $100 billion, Trump was way more efficient at getting people to vote for him than Kamala was. Well, it was more like 1.5 to 2 billion. And they were and they were in debt. All right, so there's that as well. Let's see. Let's scroll down. Your car had to say, Mike, traitor. I can't wait for the next week's news cycle. That's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. Says he just wanted to go home. He didn't care. And says Trump, Musk, and Ramaswamy, they all got on the phone afterwards and said, we got to get Mike out. They see, and that's the text chain that Anton's looking to get into. He wants to be in that text chain, like with Trump, Musk, and Ramaswamy. Let's see. The Speaker of the House, the third most powerful person on earth, is basically toxic, radioactive position. Expect chaos in voting for the Speaker for the upcoming Congress. Yep, I believe. I mean, it was crazy enough to get him in there. Like, how many times did they vote to get somebody in there and they got rejected? Let's see. Says I absolutely love listening to videos on 2X. Yep, trust me. Like, I used to not watch live streams just so I could watch them back at 2X, but now I have to participate in the chat. So but like whenever I don't watch something live, I 2X it all the time, right? And Pete, my guy Peter Investor in the building. What's up, Peter? How are you doing? So happy to see you. All right. So now we're gonna have some fun. We're going to, because here's what we're gonna do, right? Here is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start reviewing our Tech-onomic indicators for this week, right? But if you were here on Thursday night, where we were implementing AI into our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data, we will be able to search different career fields and get a customized example. So as we're reading through like what the indicator is, drop in the chat what your career field is, and then we'll pick one and do a customized example for that indicator, right? So that is the plan. Let's see how it goes. We're going to be test driving our AI implementation for the first time. We will see, right? And I do wish there was a 3x feature as well, but let's get started. And as soon as your car, do me a favor, tag Magnetar in the Discord and tell him, hey, we're waiting to play your song, all right? So tell him to stop on by so we can play his song, all right? Let's get started. Alrighty then, let's go with. Let me make this a little smaller. All right, cool. There we go. So let's take a quick look at the LinkedIn numbers to watch for this week. We reviewed this on Monday. And we have our good old friend Jerome Powell. I say Jerome in the house. All right. And let me move this up over here. Actually, I'm just going to scroll down. All right. So let's start reading. It says the Federal Reserve takes center stage this week with policymakers forecast to deliver their third consecutive cut to rates on Wednesday. According to a Bloomberg survey, the central bank will lower its benchmark target by a quarter point to between 4.25 and 4.5%. But because progress has stalled on curbing inflation, the Fed is also expected to deliver just 3 cuts next year. The bank will also deliver its own projections for growth, inflation, and interest rates at the meeting its last in 2024. Right? So what we have for this week, we're going to be looking at the U.S. Commerce Department releasing its retail sales report for November, which tracks demand for finished goods, such as food, clothing, and furniture in store and online. We also have the U.S. Census Bureau releasing housing indicators, including the preliminary number of building permits issued in November and the number of residential projects that started construction last month. Then we have the Federal Open Market Committee will meet to set interest rates. If the Wealth Building Journey or your car has a video on that, a quick video, maybe a 5-minute video that we can watch on that, we can use that. Just drop it in the chat and I will use that. We have on Thursday, we had our regular initial jobless claims for the previous week. We can take a quick look at that. Nothing to dive too much into because we're pretty familiar with that. And then we have the Bureau of Economic Analysis releasing the gross domestic product estimate for the third quarter. Then we have the U.S. Commerce Department releasing November Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, the Fed's preferred inflation measure. It measures the change in price of goods and services, excluding food and energy. And lastly, we have the University of Michigan releasing December's Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures how Americans are feeling about current and future economic conditions. All right, so let's get started with the first one right here, U.S. Commerce Department retail sales. All right, so I'm going to check this off and we're going to go over to our dictionary app. All right, I got it your car. I will get that when we get to the, let me start it. So when we get it to that topic, we will pull it up. And let's go to retail, Commerce Department report on retail sales. And let's make sure our AI is there. Look at that, customize your experience, right? So you guys let me know in the chat what career, job, or what career, job, or occupation that you have, and I will use that for a customized example for the Commerce Department report on retail goods on how it could affect your life, right? So, but what is this report on retail goods? So the Commerce Department is a part of the US government that deals with business and trade. Let me do this as well. Do that over there too. Cool. All right. So the Commerce Department is a part of the US government that deals with business and trade. They put out a report that tells us how much stuff people are buying in stores and online. This stuff is called retail goods. Why is this report important? The economic health check. Economic health check. Imagine the economy as a big machine. The report helps us see if the machine is running smoothly or if it needs a little bit of fixing. If people are buying a lot of stuff, it means they have money and they feel good about our future. This is a sign the economy is healthy. How about jobs? When people are buying more things, stores and companies need more workers to make and sell those things. So a good report means more jobs. Business decisions. Companies look at this report to decide what to make more of and what to sell. If they see people are buying a lot of one thing, then they might make more of it. Investments. Investors use this information to decide where to put their money. If retail sales are up, they might invest more in companies that sell goods. So why should you care about this as an individual? Even if you're not a business owner or an investor, we all should be investors though, this report can still affect you. Here is how. So prices. If people are buying a lot of a certain item, the prices of those items might go up because they are in demand. The job market. If the report shows that sales are strong, it can mean more job opportunities for you and others. Economic stability. A good report means the economy is stable, which can make it easier for families to plan for the future, buy homes, and save money. All right, so pretty much it is a health check. Now, let's build a custom example out. All right, so let's see what we have. All right. So Phil, what's up, Phil Knight? How are you doing today? Phil Knight says data engineer. Let me see what else we got. Your car says only. That is a good one. All right, I'm gonna do yours, your car, but I'm gonna do it after, right? So, the World Willing Share says I should abstain from participating. My career field is clearly biased. Roxy says an astronaut. All right, let me see what else. Inventory overhead costs. Phil Knight says cashier, retail. All right, so let's do astronaut first, as Roxy said. All right, and then we're gonna do the cashier, and then we'll do the OnlyFans. All right, so let's do that one. So we're gonna do Astro. How would this affect me in space? Did I spell astronaut right? Astro. Oh wait, I spelled it right, or at least I spelled it like Roxy spelled it. All right, let's go and do a search. One thing that we discussed on Wednesday is that we need to add a loading thing, a progress bar. But all right, so sure, let's think about what the Commerce Department report on retails. It tells us how much stuff people are buying in stores across the country. So now, how does this relate to an astronaut? Imagine our astronaut is working on a space mission. They need to plan for everything they will need while they are in space, like food, tools, and equipment. If the report shows that people are buying more toys or video games than usual, this might mean that companies are focusing on making those things instead of important supplies for space missions. So the astronaut might have to wait longer for certain supplies because the factories are busy making other stuff. Also, if the report shows that people are spending less money, it could mean there might not be as much funding for space missions. This can affect the astronauts' job as well. So, in summary, the Commerce Department report on retail sales helps everyone, even astronauts, understand what is happening with the economy, which can influence their work and the supplies they need. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. All right, I'm gonna try Phil Knight's cashier, and then we'll wrap it up with your car's OnlyFans, of course, right? So let's go to that. All right, so let's see. So the Commerce Department report on retail. All right, so this report is important because it can show. All right, so for a cashier, so we need to clean it up to not give us the summary of what the Commerce report is, or like whatever the report is, because we already have it up here. We just need to get straight to the example, which I work on that off stream. But for a cashier, or I work on it on Thursday night. But for a cashier, this report can be impactful in a few ways. Busy times. If the report shows that retail sales are going up, it might mean that more people will be shopping at the store. So as a cashier, you could expect to see a lot more customers and might need to work more quickly or even get extra help during busy times. Stocking shelves. If sales are increasing, stores may order more product to keep on the shelves. This means there will be more items for you to scan at the register. If the report shows sales are dropping, the store might have less new stuff coming in. Sales and discounts. The report can help stores decide whether to offer sales or specials. If sales are down, for example, the store might decide to have a big sale to attract more customers. As a cashier, you would need to be ready to handle more sales, special discounts, and maybe even check more coupons. Right? So there's that example. And lastly, we're going to check for your car's OnlyFans model. All right, that's what I got to do with your car. All right, that's what I got to do with your car. Okay, so OnlyFans model. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we get for OnlyFans. So now, for an OnlyFans model, this report might be helpful in a few ways. Understanding the trends. All right. I'm nervous to read this. All right, let's see. If the report shows that people are spending a lot more money on entertainment or online activities, it could mean that more people might be willing to pay for a subscription to sites like OnlyFans. This could encourage the model to create new content or offer special promotions. Targeting the audience. If retail sales are down, it might mean that people are being more careful with their money. An OnlyFans model might decide to offer discounts or special deals to attract subscribers who might be less willing to spend a lot of money. All right. And then planning content. If the report shows increase in certain types of spending, like on fitness or beauty products, the model might create content that ties into those interests. For example, if more people are spending on fitness, she could share workout tips or special fitness focused content. All right. So there you have it. Oh boy. All right. Last one. Wealth building journey. Because it's you, wealth building journey. I'm gonna search for the butcher. All right. Only because it's you, wealth building journey. All right. Loading. All right. So impact for a butcher. Sales trends. If the report shows that people are buying more meat in general, it might mean that the butcher can expect more customers. They might want to prepare by ordering more meat and having more employees ready to help. Seasonal changes. Sometimes the report shows changes during the different times of the year. For example, if it's close to summer, people might be buying more steaks for barbecue. Shout out to the ribeyes out there. Ribeyes and top sirloin and New York strips and T-bone steaks. The butcher can use this information to stock up on popular summer meats. Overall economy. If the report shows that retail sales are going up, it usually means people have more money to spend. This could make the butcher feel good because more customers might come in looking to buy more than just the basics, like special cuts of meat. Competition. The report can also show how other stores are doing. If grocery stores are selling a lot of meat, the butcher might need to think about ways to attract customers, like offering special deals or unique products that they can't find at big stores. All right. So there we have it. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go to the actual report. And we're going to do that by clicking on this little link right here. Let's look at that report and then we'll wrap this up. Okay. We have the advanced monthly sales, advanced estimates of U.S. retail and food services for November 2024, adjusted for seasonal variation and holiday and trading day differences, but not for price changes, was $724.6 billion, an increase of 0.7% from the previous month. So the sales went up. That's good. And up from 3.8% from November of 2023. Total sales for September 2024 through November 2024 period were up 2.9% from the same period a year ago. The September 2024 to October 2024 percentage change was revised up from 0.4% to 0.5%. Retail trade sales were up 0.9% from October 2024 and up 4.1% from last year. Motor vehicles and parts dealers were up 6.5% from last year, while non-store retailers were up 9.8% from November 2023. So let me see, is there anything else on this one? Let me take a quick look at this. That's it. So which is typically what we do, right? We spend more time learning about what it is, and then the report just tells, all right, this is how much we were up. Looks like it is going in the right direction. So if we look back over here, it says that if the report shows that people are buying more and sales are up, that means it's a good sign. For the butcher, for the OnlyFans model, for the cashier, that means they have more hours, all of that type of stuff. So shout out to all of that amazing information. And thank you for your help with all the extra examples. I like the astronaut. The astronaut one. That was a great one because I would have never thought of how does this impact an astronaut. All right. So let's get to it. Let me see what we got in the chat. All right. My guy, Peter Investor with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Peter Investor. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. All right, let's manager. All right, I am going to use the manager at Dollar General for our next example. I use that one for our next example. Let me see. Cool. So the next one that we get into is going to be with the manager at Dollar General. Right. So what do we have up next? Let's get to it. Let's keep the show moving because time is of the essence. So the U.S. Census Bureau will release housing indicators, including the preliminary number of business permits issued in November and the number of residential projects that started construction last month. Let's jump into that one. We got our trusty dictionary over here. Housing. Census Bureau report on housing indicators. So what is this report? So we know what the Census Bureau is. So this report includes how many things like how many houses are being built, how many are being sold, and what price they're selling for. Why is it important? Just like with the retail goods, housing is a big part of the economy. If lots of houses are being sold, it means the economy is doing well. People are confident enough to buy homes, and builders are busy working. Building houses creates jobs for construction workers, electricians, plumbers, and many others. If more houses are being built, it means more job opportunities. Business decisions, companies involved in building and selling homes use this report to make decisions. If they see a lot of new homes being sold, they might invest more in construction, material, or hire more workers. And investors look at housing indicators to decide where to put their money. If the housing market is strong, they might invest in real estate or companies that build homes. Let's see. Even if you're not looking to buy a home, this report can affect you. How? If many people are buying houses, prices might go up. This can be good if you or your family own a house because it becomes more valuable. Rent prices. The report can also affect rent prices. If fewer houses are being built, there might be less housing available, which could make rent prices more expensive. Neighborhood development. If a report shows a lot of new homes being built. It could mean new neighborhoods and communities are growing, which can bring new schools, parks, and stores in your area. And lastly, economic stability. The housing market is a sign of a strong economy. This stability can make it easier for families to plan for the future, get loans, and feel secure in their jobs. All right. So let's customize our experience. We're going to say, I think that the manager at Dollar General might be similar to the grocery store owner, but we will do that anyways. Manager at Dollar General. All right. Let me see what else we have in the chat in the meantime while that's populating. Let's see. All right, so the manager at Dollar General. Let's see how it helps him. And drop in the chat any other that you'd like me to check. But it says for the manager at Dollar General. Understanding the customers. If the report shows that more people are renting homes, the manager might think that families living in apartments may need affordable and quick shopping options. That's a good point. This could lead to stocking more snacks, cleaning supplies, and everyday items that renters need. Location decisions. If the report highlights areas where more new homes are being built, the manager could decide to open a new store there. New families moving in might mean more customers. Buying habits. The report might show trends in where people are spending their money related to housing. If people are spending less on their homes, they might have more money to buy things like toys or decorations from Dollar General. And then sales and promotion. Sales promotion. If housing costs are rising and people are tightening their budget, the manager might create special sales to promote lower cost items to help families save money. All right. And your car says, what about a mortician? Wow. Mortician. Okay, I got you. We'll do mortician for your car. Mortician. Drop it in the chat if you want me to check it, right? We'll do Phil Knight's police officer. We'll do the wealth building journeys biologist, and then we'll go from there, right? And then we'll go to the report. I'll add in Roxy's as well. I added Roxy's as well. All right. So for a mortician, for a mortician who helps people when someone dies, this report can be helpful in a few ways. Understanding the community. The report can tell the mortician about the types of homes people live in, like apartments, houses, and mobile homes. This helps the mortician understand the community they serve better. Planning services. If the report shows that more people are moving into the area, the mortician might need to plan for more services. Oh my God, that's dark. For example, they might need to think about how many funerals they might have to handle in the coming year. Oh, that's really dark. Helping families. If they know what type of housing people have, they can better support families in those homes when someone passes away. They might suggest for the family to arrange services comfortably at home if that's what they need. And then green spaces and funerals. If the report talks about parks or communities spaces, the mortician could consider these places when offering ideas for memorial services and how to honor the deceased in a way that fits with their community. Okay, fair enough. It did, yeah. I agree with Carl. That pretty sucked. That no one thinks about the morticians, right? No one thinks. They think more about the astronauts than they think about the morticians. Sorry, Yakar. You're right, Yakar. You're right. Let's do Phil Knight's police officer. That should be a pretty good one. All right, let's see what we get. All right, so it says for a police officer, imagine a police officer in a town is trying to understand more about the neighborhood they patrol. The Census Bureau on how the report on housing indicators can provide important information about things like how many people live in each neighborhood, what types of homes they live in, and whether there are many renters or homeowners. For example, if the report shows that a neighborhood has a lot of rental homes, the police officer might realize that there could be more people moving in and out of that area. This could lead to different types of safety concerns like increased chance of noise complaints and package thefts. Who stole my Amazon package? All right. Also, if the report shows certain neighborhoods have a higher number of vacant homes, let me move this up over here so you guys can see this. A higher number of vacant homes, the police officer might pay extra attention there as vacant properties can sometimes attract crime. That is true. So, by looking at this report, the police officer can better understand their community and decide how to keep people safe based on where they live. It helps them do their job better. Pretty much, it helps them profile better. That's basically what it is. They're profiling the neighborhoods. All right, we have to spend more time in this neighborhood. We have to spend less time in that neighborhood. There's probably a trap house over here or crack house, whatever the terminology that you use. There's probably one of those houses over there. We need to be aware of it, right? We also had the Wealth Building Journey says and we're gonna stop at Roxy at that one. After this one, biologist. We got my guy Magnetar in the building. We are after this one. We're gonna play his song, and then we're going to continue on with the show. All right. All right. So biologist. So for a biologist, imagine a biologist studying a particular animal like birds. They want to know how many birds live in a city. The Census Bureau gives information about how many houses and apartments are in the area. So here's how it helps. Understanding the habitat. The report shows where people live and how many homes there are. If there are a lot of new buildings and not many parks or trees, the biologist might think, oh, this is a place where birds might not have enough trees to live in. So they need to plant some trees. Population density. This report also tells how crowded an area is. If many people live close together, there might be fewer spaces for birds to build nests. The biologist can use this information to understand how many birds might be affected by people living nearby. Planning conservation. If biologist finds out that many new houses are being built in a certain area, they can plan ways to help protect bird habitats. They might suggest planting more trees or creating parks where birds can live safely. Shout out to the birds out there. All right. And lastly, we have Roxy's slumlord. Let's see how this report is going to help a slumlord. Let's see. All right, so a slumlord is someone who owns rundown properties and doesn't take care of them. What? They usually rent these places to people. I mean, who else would they rent them to? But they may not provide good living conditions. Now, let's see. Now, the Census Bureau report on housing indicator offers a lot of information. Okay, we know that. So here's how this could impact the slumlord. Understanding demand. If the report shows that a lot of people need places to live in a particular area, a slumlord might think, great, I can charge more for my rundown apartment because people are desperate for a place to stay. Finding trouble areas. If the report shows that a lot of people are leaving a neighborhood because it's not a good place to live, the slumlord might be worried. Fewer people means fewer renters, and then they might not be able to collect enough rent to pay for their properties. Deciding on repairs. If the report indicates that most of the housing in the area is old and in bad shape, the slumlord might realize they need to make some repairs. They might think it's better to fix things up a little so that they can attract more tenants and charge a fair price. Right? Legal changes. Sometimes the report might show that the government is making new laws to protect renters, like requiring safer living conditions. A slumlord might want to pay attention to these changes so they don't get in trouble, or find a way around it, right? So that is those are our examples. Let's take a look at the report, and then we're going to get to some music. All right, let's get to it. Where's our report? Right here. So if we scroll down to this page, change a little bit. Housing. What is this? This definitely changed. Housing starts, I guess, over here. All right. Where is so we're looking at this newest release, 1,289 units. It's down from October. But where's the report though? Oh, there we go. All right. So New residential construction. All right, so let's go to the latest report. So we had building permits issued 1,505,000, housing starts 1,289,000, housing complete 1,601,000. So building permits, privately owned housing units authorized by building permits in November were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1,505,000. This is 6.1% above the revised October rate of 1,419,000, but 0.2% below November of 2023 rate of 1,508,000. Single family authorizations in November were at a rate of 972,000. This is 0.1% above the revised October figure of 971,000. Authorization of units in buildings with 5 units or more were at a rate of 481,000 in November. Housing starts. So this building permits is permits issued, authorized. Housing starts is, I guess, construction started on those houses. Privately owned housing starts in November were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1,289,000. This is 1.8% below the revised October estimate of 1,312,000 and 14.6% below the November 2023 rate of 1,510,000. So basically, it sounds like less houses are starting to be built this past month of November compared to October of this year, and way less than November of 2023. So it sounds like less houses are being built, less people are buying houses. Single family housing starts in November were at a rate of 1,011,000. This is 6.4% below the revised October figure of 950,000. The November rate for units in buildings with 5 units or more was 264,000. Housing completion. Privately owned housing completion in November were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1,601,000. This is 1.9%, plus or minus 9.2%, below the revised October estimate of 1,632,000, but 9.2% above the November 2023 rate of 1,466,000. Single family housing completions in November were at a rate of 1,038,000. This is 3.3% above the revised October rate of 1,005,000. The November rate for units with buildings with 5 units or more was 544,000. All right, so we did better as a country completing houses, but housing starts are lower than it was last year. That's basically what it is saying for today. All right, so let's get back to full screen. I'm gonna check the chat, and then we are going to debut the song King Snitcher, which was written by my guy Magnetar. Don't take my work from home away from me. 17. All right, so let me see what we got in the chat. Yeah, you're right. Mortician got to hold the L on this one. That was pretty bad. That was a pretty bad one, I must say. Let's see. My guy Magnetar in the building. AI song time. Let's get it. And we got Maddox in the building coming from the Twitch side of the game. What's up, Maddox? How are you doing? And let me see what else we got. Roxy says, biologists in Florida, how many iguanas falling out of trees? That is not a pretty sight, but it is on. Let me see what's the temperature down here. Let's see weather. It is 66 degrees right now. 0 chance of rain. And the high today is 71 degrees. Like I said yesterday in the Discord, it is a beautiful, beautiful day to go to the beach. But I don't think I've been to the beach at all this year. I'm just saying. All right. But that is a good one. I'll probably use the iguana example in our next one. Let's see. We got my guy Mitch in the building. He says, "What about a boxer? What about a boxer if you want to catch these hands?" All right. So let me see. Phil Knight says, "I wonder if every report does regional reports like the CPI report. Would be nice to analyze all reports for a region or MSA like Dallas-Fort Worth." I know the realtors report, like from the National Association of Realtors, they do a breakdown of the region, but I don't like they probably do have it somewhere on the Census Bureau report. I have to dig in a little bit deeper to find it, but they probably do have it. But the general report that they release every month doesn't have it. But when we do the realtor report, the realtor report is for existing homes sold. So, but we'll have a better view of it on that one. That's probably gonna be next week. Let me see. On both sides of the stream, shout out to my guy Maddox supporting us in both places. All right, the moment we have all been waiting for. My guy Magnetar is in the building. We are going to let me get his I'm gonna get his picture up because this is his song. This is his song. His lyrics. I just put it together. I added a chorus. I did add a chorus, and then I just put it together. Right. So let's get to it. And while this is playing, I'm going to get my water. All right. So let's get to it.
Yeah, what a coincidence. I just left the snitching convention. Gold Star member and chairman of this commission. Should have heard the new initiatives I introduced.
All our secrets known to a few. Newbies who leak the info pass the first test because telling is what we do. I'm the king, snitch, I know a lot to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine.
To get the details out there by the layers. Look no further, none greater at portraying a traitor. I got a whole composition, my snitching is top tier. Ain't no other competition informative here.
To get the details out there by the layers. Look no further, none greater at portraying a traitor. I got a whole composition, my snitching is top tier. Ain't no other competition informative here. I'm the king, snitch, I know a lot to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer more mine.
Peers always wonder why I'm gone for at least 10 minutes. They'll figure it out after the judge gives them a life sentence. Who would have thought they'd take care of my whole fam? Made a living by snitching, retiring the witness protection program.
Various photos of who you be with. All sizes for the judges to see it. My old tap wires in the National Law Enforcement Museum. Careful who you chill with and who you're around when you doing real shit. Too late for you, as I tell them myself through these lyrics. Yo, I'm the king, snitch, I know a lot to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine. I know a lot to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine.
What a coincidence. My peers always wonder why I'm gone for at least 10 minutes. They'll figure it out after the judge gives them a life sentence. Who would have thought they'd take care of my whole fam? Made a living by snitching, retiring the witness protection program.
Various photos of who you be with. All sizes for the judges to see it. My old tap wires. After the judge gives them a life sentence. Who would have thought they'd take care of my whole fam? Made a living by snitching, retiring the witness protection program.
Various photos of who you be with. All sizes for the judges to see it. My old tap wires in the National Law Enforcement Museum. Careful who you chill with and who you around when you doing real shit. Too late for you, as I tell on myself through these lyrics. Yeah, yeah.
I'm the king, snitch, I know a lot to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine.
That was King Snitcher, written by Magnetar. He is right. He did not write the hook. He did not write the hook. I had to get a hook, so I figured something out. But I liked it. Mitch already shared his thoughts but Mitch doesn't like anything except for his song, right? Mitch only likes his song. But yeah. So let me know. I liked it. I thought the lyrics were amazing, and being able to blend it with something, I liked it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Your car says J-Lo on the remix. I will see. I'll see if I can get her to join. All right. And the ones willing to, this is wild. Your dirty secrets are no longer. That was that. Let me see. I don't know if that was part of Magnetar's lyrics or if that was part of the hook. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Nope, that was part of the hook. That my AI created that hook. So do not blame it on Magnetar. What in the world? What? All right. Stop the show. Alexis has actually liked one AI song because he wrote it, but AI performed it. I'm just saying, wow, this is a breakthrough. This is a breakthrough. This is a breakthrough. All right, well, there you have it. I liked it. I'm gonna send you the link, Magnetar, and you can do whatever you want with it. All right. All right. Enough of that. Shout out to my guy Magnetar working up early just so we can listen to his song. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get back to work. We still have some more stuff to go through. Your car had sent me the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee set the interest rates. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's see. Federal Open Market Committee. So let's get back to work. Magnetar says, "Wish this was around when I was younger." You and me both. All right, so let's compose ourselves. We had a lot of fun. We'll listen to it on the way out. But it says the Federal Open Market Committee, and give me some examples of what you want me to search for on how this would impact this particular career field. But the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, is a group of important people from the Federal Reserve, which is like the U.S.'s bank for banks. They meet to decide things about money and interest rates to help keep the economy running smoothly. Their goal is to make sure prices don't go too high. That's called inflation. Keep people working by helping businesses grow. What happens when the FOMC releases their meeting minutes? We're going to be looking at their interest rates, but the minutes are like notes from a big class meeting showing what was discussed. They tell us what the FOMC thinks about the economy, whether it's doing well or if it needs help. If interest rates might go up or down, this affects things like car loans, mortgages, car payments, plans for inflation control. They share if they're worried about prices going up too fast. So what we should expect, if the note suggests the economy is slowing down, they might lower interest rates. This makes borrowing money cheaper, so people and businesses spend more money. And the note suggests that the economy is too hot. They might raise interest rates, this makes borrowing money harder, which slows things down to prevent inflation. When the minutes are released, investors and businesses pay close attention to figure out what might happen to the economy and plan ahead. All right. So I think that that FOMC is the wealth building journey's favorite topic. Let me see what we were going to use. Let's see, how does the FOMC affect a iguana biologist in Florida? Let's say in South Florida, because that's where they're from. That's where most of the iguanas are. Like in my neighborhood, you can easily see 100 iguanas just hanging out in somebody's front lawn. I saw an iguana on somebody's house one time. I'm like, how'd you get up there? Anyways, Enough about iguanas. I hate iguanas. Let's continue. So, let's see. So how does the FOMC affect an iguana? So imagine you're an iguana biologist in South Florida and you study how iguanas live and thrive in their environment. The Federal Open Market Committee is a group that helps set rules. Okay, we know that. So now let's say the FOMC decides to lower interest rates. This means it's cheaper for people to borrow money. When people have more money to spend because loans are cheaper, they might buy more homes and develop new areas. If more homes are built, they could be less natural space for the iguanas to live, and they infest South Florida. This could mean fewer trees and plants for them to eat and hide. I don't know if you guys like mangoes. These iguanas be eating a whole mango by themselves. I have the best mango tree in the United States of America, maybe, and even in North American continent, right? And these iguanas, they just be all up in my tree eating my mangoes. I'm like, what in the world is going on? I'm like, go away. I should be telling these iguanas,
do not come.
You know, they be eating a whole mango by themselves. The worst is when they just when the birds just pick a hole in the mango. And then it's a perfectly good mango, but it's like you don't want to eat it because a bird picked a hole in it, right? But I digress. I feel I'm very passionate about my mangoes, right? Anyways, let's see. So on the other hand, if the FOMC raises interest rates, it could make loans more expensive. This means fewer new homes are built, which would help keep iguanas' habitats and their food sources safe. I don't mind keeping their food sources safe as long as their food source is not my mango tree. Just saying, all right? So, in a way, what the FOMC decides can affect the environment where iguanas live, which is important for you as a biologist who is studying them, all right? Shout out to them. Shout out to the biologists who are studying iguanas. And believe it or not, iguanas are not even native to South Florida. They were brought in from another country, and then they just infested South Florida, and now they are everywhere. We can't get rid of them. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? So let me take a look at this real quick, and then we're gonna pick up on the video that your car sent us to see what exactly is going on. There's nothing. All right, so let me just go straight to your car's video because there's nothing here. Let's go to here and go over here.
The Federal Reserve.
Copy that. All right, let's go and play the video. There we go. And let me change to that one. All right, so Feds cut interest rate for the third consecutive time.
The Federal Reserve just announcing it is cutting interest rates once again.
The central bank lowered its benchmark borrowing rate by 0.25 percentage point. This is the third consecutive cut by the Fed. It's part of an effort to boost what appears to be a steady but cooling economy. And many experts are now wondering what will happen next.
NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung joins us. I see you looking at your screen because this is happening in real time. What are the numbers and what does it mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you summarized, the Federal Reserve did lower interest rates again. This is their third time doing so this year. They cut it by 0.25 percentage point. And by the way, what the Federal Reserve does with interest rates has bleed through, not necessarily one-to-one, but it impacts what happens to your mortgage rates, to your credit card rates, to anything that you use to borrow money. And what we've seen from the Federal Reserve was over the post-pandemic period, they dramatically made those interest rates higher to take steam out of this economy and make inflation come down. But now they have the process of trying to undo some of those interest rate increases by lowering interest rates. So again, they've done that 3 times now this year with this decision. Today, the Federal Reserve saying that the economy has continued to expand at a solid pace. This is their words. And they say that conditions in the labor market have, quote, generally eased, which translation, maybe unemployment rate is rising just a little bit. But they do say that inflation has made progress. That's certainly good news as well.
And this is the final interest rate decision of the year, right? What do people expect to see in the new year when we have a new president, a new administration?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Federal Reserve is very, very clear in saying that they do not make interest rate decisions based off of who is in the White House. But as you mentioned, yes, there is certainly a new person coming in effective January 20th. But the Federal Reserve has their own forecast, and they're really just judging all their decisions based off of what does inflation look like, what does the jobs market look like. And in the decision just a few minutes ago, they have a projection for where they could see interest rates going over the course of 2025. Again, it's a projection. A lot can happen, but they're basically projecting a high likelihood that they'll do another 2 interest rate cuts through the course of next year. That's not all that much. And in fact, if we even just rewind to looking back at 2024, there were expectations the Fed may have more aggressively cut interest rates this year. They only cut interest rates 3 times. So there were some people at the beginning of this year saying maybe we could see mortgage rates on a 30-year fix go down to maybe 5%. That hasn't happened. We're looking at somewhere almost around 7% right now, which is kind of really where we started the year. So we haven't seen interest rates fall as much as we did in 2024, and that might hold into 2025 as well, with the Fed only projected to cut twice.
Right. If it's only twice, maybe we don't get down to that 5% mortgage rate. I wish we could. But what about the chairman of the Federal Reserve? He's going to be speaking. What do you expect to hear from him?
Yeah, he has a press conference.
It's funny that like she just mentioned like the 5% mortgage rate when like it's interesting that it would be nice to get to down to 5% mortgage rate when back in between 2016 to 2020 the mortgage rates were like between, depending on like your what you got, it was like between 2.5 to maybe 4%. When I bought my home in 2015, I got it at 3.8%. Then after refinancing, I got it for 2.8%. In 2020, yeah, it was in 2020. I refinanced for 2.8%. And then now, like seeing it at like 6, 7, 8, 9%, I'm like, oh my god. In the words of my friend Alexis, good lord, that is a high interest rate. But let's finish this video off.
Conference, as he always does. That'll be in about 25 minutes from now. But I think the questions for him will be very similar to kind of what you were just asking about, Ellison, is that next year there's a lot of uncertainty, not just on what the economy is going to look like. This economy has been very difficult to project and predict what it's going to do since the post-pandemic period. But you have the added impact of fiscal policy coming from the White House. If they wage out an all-out tariff war against China, one of the biggest trade partners in the United States, could that tilt the Federal Reserve into more aggressive interest rate cuts? That's what happened in the first Trump administration when he lobbied that war against China. That pushed some Federal Reserve cuts. We'll have to see. It's a lot of uncertainty there.
All right, a lot to watch as we head into the next 30 minutes or so. Brian Chung, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking.
So there we have it. Basically, they reduced the rates by a quarter of a basis point, which would, I guess we're down now to like 4.25% interest rate as like the federal interest rate. But you know what we always like to do? What we always like to do, though, let's go over to here. And I want to see what is the current mortgage rate. And December 19th, let me see, mortgage rates, lending, let's see what, I don't know if I want to use lending tree. Let's go to bank rate. Let me see, where's just the, hold on. Just wanted to see if we can get the, let's see. So as of Thursday, after a few consecutive weeks of decreases, the mortgage rates are up again. According to Freddie Mac, 30-year fixed mortgage rates rose by 12 basis points to 6.72%, and the 15-year fixed rate is up to 5.92%. Jeez. Mortgage rates will probably remain elevated for the foreseeable future. At yesterday's Federal Reserve meeting, Fed Chair Jerome Powell announced the central bank is only planning to cut federal funds rate twice in 2025, down from the predicted 4 cuts mentioned at the September meeting. This means the mortgage rates should stay relatively high for a while. Well, there you have it. But the question is, will Mr. Jerome Powell still have his job come next year? That is the big mystery. Just want to do a quick check on what the interest rates were overall for the mortgages, because it looks like that the price of homes are not going down anytime soon. Oh, let me see. There's Rocket Mortgage too. Let me see. This is. Oh, let's take a quick look at this one. This is as of when? Is this as of today? Today's mortgage rate, 30-year. Fixed 7.25%, 20-year 7.25, 30-year FHA 6.49, and the reason that it's 6.49 is because you also have to pay this mortgage insurance on FHA loans for the life of the FHA loan. 30-year jumbo fix, 30-year VA. Interest rates are high. Interest rates are high. All right. Just wanted to do quick check on that. Quick check on that. All right. So Roxy says, have you ever eaten one? All right. When you say one, Roxy, are you referring to the mango or the iguana? I have to clarify. Because are you asking about the mango or the iguana? The Wellspring just got to admit that example was a bit of a slight bit of a stretch. Look, they're trying to they're trying to make it work, right? It says he talks like the micro machines guy. Where's the race dude? What race dude? I don't know. What are you talking about? I was hoping it was not the iguana. I was hoping it was not the iguana. I have not ever eaten an iguana. I don't plan to eat an iguana. I don't. Have I ever eaten any reptile? I have not eaten a reptile before, and I do not plan on eating a reptile either. All right. So, me and the reptiles are not the best of friends. I guess I should ask, has anyone in the chat ever eaten it? You know what? Poll time. I got to start a poll. Roxy has me curious now. Let's do a poll. Have you ever eaten an iguana? Yes. No. All right, there we go. So, poll started. Let me know. I'm curious if you've ever eaten an iguana, because Roxy asked if I ever ate an iguana. I've never. Have anybody else ever eaten an iguana? And it's a 50-50 already. All right, cool. Let's see. I'm curious. I am curious. We shall find out together. All right. So, let's see. Let's see. It says the Asian guy that was talking. I have no idea. I don't even know who he is. I don't. Your car sent me that link. Let's see. So I can't leave. I didn't mean to show that. All right. Somebody, yes, your car. Somebody did say yes. Somebody said yes. So, all right. Let's and for the person who said yes, right? How did you cook it, and how did it taste? Right. Just curious. I'm just curious. How did you cook it? Did you boil it? Did you fry it? Did you smoke it? Did you pressure cook it? Did you slow cook it? How was it cooked? I'm just curious. All right. All right. Let's continue on with the show. Let's see. We have a good amount of time left. Let's go over to here. U.S. Department of Labor releasing the initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report, a proxy for layoffs, tracks the number of people filing for unemployment. Let's go and take a look at this one. Let's go to jobs in our search, and we do weekly jobless claims. Drop me an example to search for to see how the weekly jobless claims can be important. So, and I would think that with the bad examples that they give on some of these, like the mortician, like the iguana biologist, it could be that it does, like their report doesn't really impact them, possibly. So I don't know. I think for like, and if a report, or if the majority of reports don't really impact your profession, you might need to see, is that profession like strong? Like, do you make a lot of money in that? Like, let's say you're an iguana biologist, right? Do you make a lot of money as an iguana biologist, or is it just like something that's you enjoy doing, but does it really, because like for me, when I search for, software engineering, stuff like that, they like, you get really descriptive, like how this can impact your field. And I'm like, all right, cool. So this is good to know. So that's just wondering. I'm just wondering. Because like if we were to put nursing there, you get a whole list, like this is all the different ways nursing can be impacted. This is all the different ways software engineers, this is all the different ways a banker and so forth. But if it's like a mortician, you might get some more customers who die, you might get some more clients, some more dead clients. And it's like, not the greatest example, but it might just be because, anyways, I digress. So, let's see. So, the Department of Labor's initial jobless claims report shows the number of people who have recently lost their jobs and applied for unemployment benefits for the first time. It's released every Thursday and gives a snapshot of how the job market is doing. So, simple breakdown: initial jobless claims means these are people applying for unemployment benefits for the first time in a recent week. It does not include people who are already receiving benefits from earlier weeks. So, all these numbers that we see, brand new people asking for help. I'm going to use Mitch's example for a boxer as well. It says, let's see, it doesn't include, all right, so why is it important? The number of, if the number of claims is high, it usually means more people are losing their jobs, which could be a sign that the economy is struggling, it's on the struggle bus, or slowing down. If the number is low, it means fewer people are losing jobs, which often points to a healthier job market. How it's used: the report helps businesses, governments, and even regular people understand if the job market is getting better or worse. For example, if jobless claims suddenly spike, it could mean companies are laying off more workers, and that might be a warning of a possible recession. If claims are dropping, it may suggest that companies are hiring or keeping employees, which is a good sign for the economy. So in short, the initial jobless claims report is a quick weekly update that tells us how stable the job market is and gives hints about what might happen in the economy. So let's go to I'll type in boxer for Mitch. Let's see let's see, boxer from New Jersey. Let's see, boxer from New Jersey. All right, so how could the weekly jobless claim affect a boxer from New Jersey? So, sponsorship and jobs. If the jobless claims are high, which means lots of people are losing their jobs, companies might have less money to spend on sponsorship. Sorry, Mitch. For example, a local gym or a brand might make boxing gear might not have enough money to sponsor the boxer. This could mean less financial support for the boxer's training or competition. Ticket sales. If people are worried about losing their jobs, they might decide to spend less money. This could mean fewer people buying tickets to watch the boxers fight. Less tickets sales can mean less money for the boxer as well. Training expense. If people in the boxers community are struggling to find jobs, they might not be able to afford boxing lessons or gyms. This can lead to less interest in the sport, which could affect the boxer's training environment and competition because the boxer has nobody to spar with. Overall economy: if many people are having a hard time, it might affect how many matches the boxer can have in a year. The overall economy can change how many events there are and how much money is available for fights. So, in short, the weekly jobless claims can help show how many people are struggling to find work, and this can trickle down to affect the boxer's opportunities, support, and finances. Let's take a quick look at that report and we'll see what they have to say. Let's zoom in. So in week ending December 14th, the advanced figures for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 220, a decrease of 22,000 from the previous week's unrevised level of 242,000. Why did the previous week have an unrevised level? Because we usually have a revised level. The 4-week moving average was 225,500, an increase of 1,250 from the previous week's unrevised average of 224,250. So the insured unemployment rate was at 1.2 for a week ending on December 7th. Let me see. Anything else stands out in this report? Let's go down. Nothing. Let's take a look. All right, so initial claims for UI benefits filed by former federal civilian employees totaled 755. This is higher than normal. In the week ending December 7th, an increase of 356, like I thought. There were 500 initial claims filed by newly discharged veterans, an increase of 274 from the preceding week. There were 5,984 continued weeks claims filed by former federal civilian employees, The week ending November 30th, an increase of 896 from the previous week. Newly discharged veterans claiming benefits totaled 4,754, an increase of 495 from prior week. I'm curious to see if once they start mandating all the government employees to go back to the office and they start slashing left and right, if this number is going to skyrocket, if it's going to skyrocket, if it's going to balloon, that's what I'm curious to see, right? The highest insured unemployment rate in the week ending November 30th were in New Jersey, 2.5, California, 2.3, Washington, 2.2, Alaska, 2.1, Minnesota, 2.1, Rhode Island, 1.9, Nevada, Puerto Rico, 1.8, Illinois, 1.7, Massachusetts, Montana, New York, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, all 1.7. The largest increases in initial claims for the week ending December 7th were California at 14,000. Geez, that's a lot. Texas, 10,000. There was like a layoff spree that must have happened recently. New York, 8,000. Illinois, 7,000. And Georgia, 6,000. While the largest decreases were North Dakota at 788 and Delaware at 163. That is a lot. That's a big number. I wonder what happened. But New Jersey takes the cake as well. Always on top. All right. So let's go back to full screen. Let me see what. So your card says no one has trained AI on mortician data points. Yep, that is true. That is true. There. No one. Why does nobody? You know what? Your card. Let's train AI on mortician data points. Let's train AI on mortician data points. We can do it. Your card. We can do it. Okay. Let me see. Let's continue on with the show. We are at now. The Bureau of Economic Analysis will release a gross domestic product estimate. Drop me in the chat some examples that you would like me to pull up for GDP on how that is important to a particular industry, right? So let's go to that, and we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna search for gross domestic product. And we have, so the GDP, gross domestic product, is like a scorecard for the country's economy. I think we reviewed this very recently for the third quarter estimate. All right, so this tells us the total value of everything, all goods and services produced within a country in 1 year. Breaking it down, goods are things you can touch and see, like cars, books, and toys. Services are activities that people do for others, like teaching, haircuts, and medical checkups. Let's see. So why is GDP important? It measures the economic health. GDP helps us understand how well the economy is doing. When GDP is high, it means people are producing and buying lots of things. When GDP is low, it means the economy might be in trouble and people might be producing and buying less. Comparing countries. GDP allows us to compare the size and health of different countries' economies. For example, if one country has a higher GDP than another, it generally means it has a stronger economy. For government decisions, government uses GDP to make important decisions. For example, if the GDP is growing, they might decide to build more schools and hospitals. If GDP is shrinking, they might look for ways to boost the economy. It helps in business planning. Businesses look at GDP to decide whether to expand, hire more workers, or invest in new projects. High GDP usually means good times, celebrate good times for businesses, while low GDP can signal tough times ahead. So let's see what example. So we did the wire the other day. Let's think of one. How could GDP affect, I got you, a rapper who falsely applied for PPP loans? How about that? Let's see what that has to say. So, let me see. All right, so we're over here. Now, let's think about a rapper who falsely applies for PPP Paycheck Protection Program loans. These loans were supposed to be to help businesses stay afloat during tough times like when COVID-19 pandemic hit. If someone cheats and gets these loans when they don't really need them or don't qualify, it's like stealing money. Here's how this could connect to GDP. If the rapper is actually helping the economy, if they're using the loan to pay workers, buy equipment, or invest in their music business, that can help grow the GDP. More jobs and buying things can mean more money moving in the economy. If the rapper gets caught, if the government finds out they lied about needing a loan, they could face penalties like paying the money back. This could hurt their business and personal finances. If they have to pay fine or lose money, they can't spend as much on things like music, videos, or their team, which could lower the GDP a bit. And I will add that that money that could have went to businesses that actually needed it were diverted to these rappers and singers and stuff like that. And now we end up paying for whatever it is that they're doing. However, a caveat to that is, if their team, right? If they consider the workers the people who they were spending the money on, and if they consider their Lamborghinis as equipment, maybe they need it for a music video, then they might actually get away with it.
Bruh.
All right, I'm just saying. I don't like it, but they might actually get away with it. But let's take a look at our GDP. So let's go to full schedule. Let's go all the way. Let me see. Let's go down to December. This one. Gross domestic product third quarter, third estimate. No. Okay. So let's see. Real gross domestic product increased at an annual rate of 3.1% in the third quarter of 2024. According to the third estimate released by the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, in the second quarter, the real GDP increased 3%. The GDP estimate released today is based on more complete source data than were available for the second estimate issued last month. In the second estimate, the increase in real GDP was 2.8%. The update primarily reflected upward revisions to export and consumer spending that were partly offset by a downward revision to private inventory investments. Imports, which are a subtraction in the calculation, were revised up, refer to updates to GDP. The increase in real GDP primarily reflected increases in consumer spending, exports, non-residential fixed investments, and federal government spending. Compared to the second quarter, the acceleration in real GDP in the third quarter primarily reflected accelerations in exports. So we have more exports, consumer spending, people are spending more, and federal government spending. Of course, as always, the government is always spending more money. These movements were partly offset by a downturn in private inventory investment and larger decrease in residential fixed investment. Imports accelerated, probably due to Temu. Current dollar GDP increased. Let me zoom in a little bit on that. Current dollar GDP increased 5% at an annual rate of $358.2 billion in the third quarter to a level of 29.37 trillion, an upward revision of 20.6 billion from the previous estimate. More information on the source data that underlies the estimate is available. Key source data assumptions. The price index for gross domestic purchases increased 1.9% in the third quarter, the same as the previous estimate. The personal consumption expenditures price index increased at 1.5%, which is the same as previously estimated. Excluding food and energy, the PCE price index increased 2.2%, an upward revision of 0.1%. Personal income, the current dollar personal income increased 191.7 billion in the third quarter, an upward revision of 15.8 billion from the previous estimate. Disposable income increased 141.5 billion or 2.7% in the third quarter, an upward revision of 18.6 billion from the previous estimate. Personal savings was at 936.6 billion in the third quarter, an upward revision of 2.1 billion from the previous estimate. The personal saving rate as a percentage of disposable personal income was 4.3% in the third quarter. Let's see, gross domestic income and corporate profits. Gross domestic income, GDI, increased 2.1% in the third quarter, a downward revision of 0.1%. Let's see. Profits for current production, corporate profit with inventory valuation and capital consumption adjustments decreased by 15 billion in the third quarter. That's not good. Because I want corporations to make more profit so that we can actually keep our jobs. If you guys keep saying, oh, the corporations are making so much money, guess what? It's your job they're going to get rid of. I'm just saying, right? So I want the corporations to make as much money as possible so they can hire more people so that we can stop whining and complaining about not having a job. All right? You guys want software engineering jobs, QA jobs, business analyst jobs, cybersecurity jobs. You need these corporations to make more money so that they can hire more people so they can give you a job and give you that shot that you've been looking for. Right? Let's see. So profits for domestic financial corporations increased 3 billion in the third quarter, an upward revision of 5.6 billion from the previous estimate. Profits of domestic non-financial corporations increased 24.9 billion, a downward revision of 5.9 billion. Rest of world profits decreased 42.9 billion, a downward revision of 4.6 billion. Let's see, anything else? GDP by industry. Retail trade is up. Healthcare and social assistance. So these are all the private. So government is over here. And then what's down? Utilities, construction, arts, entertainment, and recreation. Administrative waste management services, agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting are all down. All right. Let me see. Real gross output, principally a measure of industry sales or receipts, which includes sales to final users. Economy GDP increased 3.2% in the third quarter. Private goods producing industries increased 0.6%. Private services producing industries increased 4%, and government increased 3.5%. Overall, 17 out of the 22 industry groups contributed to the increase in real gross output. All right, so that is everything for the GDP. Let's go back, and the Wealth Building Journey says it's a delicate balance. Where is this thing hiding? It's a delicate balance between inflation and corporate profits. Interesting. That is interesting. Do you care to elaborate a little bit more on that? The Wealth Building Journey. Like, what do you? Can you just elaborate and I'll read it. Just curious to see what you mean with that in particular, and we'll see. All right. But in the meantime, let's continue. Let's get another example for the November personal consumption price expenditure. Feel free to drop me an example in the chat, and then we will use that. So the U.S. Commerce Department released the November's Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, the Fed's preferred inflation measure. The report measures change in the price of goods and services excluding food and energy. So let's cross that out. Let's go over to, and we'll search for Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index. And let's see what it is. The Department of Commerce's Personal Consumption Expenditure, PCE, Price Index is a way to measure how much prices are going up or down for things people buy, like food, clothes, and gas. Think of it as a price thermometer for the economy that tells us if things are getting more expensive over time, which we call inflation. Here's how it works. Tracking spending on goods and services, the Department of Commerce collects data on the prices of hundreds of items that people commonly buy, including both goods, things like groceries and clothes, and services like haircuts and doctor's visits. They look at how much people actually spend on these things. Watching price changes every month, they see if the prices of these items are going up or down or staying the same. If the prices are rising, that means that cost of living is getting more expensive, which can make it harder for people to buy the things that they need. If the prices are dropping, things are getting a bit cheaper. Core PCE index, sometimes they look at a special version called the core PCE that leaves out the price of food and gas. Why? Because food and gas can jump up and down jump around, making it harder to see the general trend. The core PCE gives a steadier look at price changes for other items. The government uses the PCE price index to help understand if the prices are increasing too quickly. If the prices rise too fast, people might struggle to afford their regular purchases. So the government and Federal Reserve, the nation's bank, can use this information to make decisions to keep prices stable. Let's see. All right, so let's see what we have now. Let's go for an example. Let's go with a, I don't know, what example could we use for this one? Let's say I have one. Let's say ethical hacker, because we're going to be doing ethical hacking starting the course next month, right? Let's say an ethical hacker. How does it affect an ethical hacker? Or we'll go with wealth building journey says let's go with we'll do ethical hacker after. Let's say I don't even know what an actuary is. Let's see what an actuary is. We'll use actuary and then we'll go with ethical hacker after. So for an actuary, who is a person that uses math and statistics to figure out risk and cost like insurance, knowing how the PCEPI, the personal consumption expenditure price index, works is important for a couple of reasons. Are you an actuary, the wealth building journey? So imagine an actuary is working for a company that sells life insurance. One of their jobs is to help decide how much money the company needs to collect from people to cover the cost. Inflation awareness. If prices keep going up, which is shown in the PCEPI, the actuary knows that the money the company collects today might not be enough to pay for things in the future. For example, if a doctor visit costs $100 today and prices go up, the same visit might cost $120 in a few years. The actuary will use the PCEPI to predict these prices increase and help the company set the right prices for the insurance plans. Setting reserves. The actuary needs to ensure the company saves enough money, called reserves, to pay for future claims. If they see that prices are rising, thanks to the PCEPI, they can adjust how much money to keep aside so the company can still afford to pay everything when it's time. In short, the PCEPI helps actuaries understand how much things cost now compared to how much they might cost in the future so they can make smart decisions about money in insurance. Interesting. Let's see. All right. So Maddox says, I'm a cybersecurity analyst. I mitigate vulnerable IT issues. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's do cybersecurity analyst. Let's see what that comes up with. So, a cybersecurity analyst is someone who looks out for bad guys trying to steal information or cause trouble with computers. So, how does the personal consumption price expenditure help with a cybersecurity analyst? Budgeting for tools. If the PCEPI shows that prices for technology, software, and security tools are going up, the price of the brick is going up, the security analyst might need to ask for more money to buy the same tools to keep the computer system safe. Just like if you wanted a new video game that got more expensive, you would need to save or ask for more allowance if you're a child, or if you don't control your money. Salaries and hiring. When the PCE shows that prices are rising, the company might need to pay their workers for more money to help them keep up with living costs. This means the cybersecurity analyst might get a raise, or the company might need to hire more people, which is good for teamwork. Understanding customer needs. If people are spending less on other things because prices are high, they might not spend as much on products or services like cybersecurity. This can change how the analyst thinks about what the company should focus on to make sure they're still helping their customers. So that's how the PCEPI would affect somebody in cybersecurity. Okay, Gardner, you're trying to get AI to give us a bad example. But we'll do that for our that's going to be a good one for the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, right? So let's go and take a quick look at this report. So for the Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, we have November 2024. It's up 2.4%. October was 2.3. September was 2.1. August was 2.3. Let's take a look at the current release, released yesterday. So personal income increased $71.1 billion, 0.3% at a monthly rate in November, according to estimates released today by the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. Disposable personal income less personal current taxes increased $61.1 billion, 0.3%, and personal consumption expenditures increased $81.3 billion, 0.4%. Is this saying that personal income increased 71 billion? Wealth building journey. Help me out here. Is it saying that the money that people made was 71.1 billion, but the money that people spent was 81.3 billion? Am I understanding this correctly? Am I understanding correctly? The PCE price index increased 0.1%, excluding food and energy. The PCE price index increased 0.1%. Real DPI, disposable personal income, increased 0.2% in November. The real PCE increased 0.3%. Goods increased 0.7%, and services increased 0.1%. Let me see. Let's go down over here. The increase in current dollar personal income in November primarily reflected an increase in compensation that was partly offset by decreases in personal income receipts on assets and personal current transfer receipts. There was Black Friday last month. So that could be it as well. Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the 81.3 billion increase in current dollar PCE in November reflected an increase of 48.3 billion in spending for goods, an increase of 33 billion in spending for services. Within the goods, the largest contributor to increase were motor vehicles and parts, led by new motor vehicles, and recreational goods and vehicles led by video, audio, photographic, and information processing equipment and media. I didn't get my microphone because they did not reduce the price. Within services, the largest contributor to the increase were spending for financial services and insurance, led by financial service charges, fees, which people hate. People hate fees. I'm telling you, they came after me because of the fees, all right? And commission. Recreation services led membership clubs, sports centers, parks, theaters, and museums, as well as gambling. And healthcare led by hospitals. Detailed information in some table. Personal outlays, the sum of PCE, personal interest payments, and personal current transfer payments increased 78.2 billion in November. Personal savings was 968.1 billion in November, and the personal savings rate, personal savings as a percentage of disposable income, was 4.4%. Prices from the preceding month, the PCE price index for November increased 0.1%. Prices for goods increased less than 0.1%, and prices for services increased 0.2%. Food services increased 0.2%, and energy prices also increased 0.2%. Excluding food and energy, the PCE price index increased 0.1%. So it was basically nothing changed, right? Detailed monthly PCE price index can be found. All right, cool. Let's see. The same month 1 year ago, the PCE price index November increased 2.4%. Price for goods decreased 0.4%, and price for services increased 3.8%. Food prices increased 1.4%, and energy prices decreased 4%. Let's see. All right. Anything else? Real 0.3% increase in real PCE.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Let's see. All right, that's pretty much it for the personal consumption expenditure price index. That's what it's called. All right, we have one more topic that we can get through really, really quickly, and then we're going to get out of here for today. We've been going for 2 hours already, but we covered a lot of stuff. We listened to Magnus Hart's amazing song. We saw what happened with the government shutdown. We saw all these other data points that we had. So let's go to our last one for today, and then we're gonna get out of here. All right. Our last one for today is the University of Michigan. Releasing the December Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures how Americans are feeling about future economic conditions, current and future economic conditions. Right. So let's go to our here, and we're gonna go for Michigan. And so give me an example. If anybody has an example while I'm reading this, I see the Wealth Building Journey said a Gardner. We're going to use Gardner, and any other examples, drop it in here and I will search for that as well. Okay. So the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index is a survey that asks people how they feel about the economy. It gathers information about what people think about their current economic financial situations, how they feel about spending money, and what they expect for the future. The survey results are combined into an index, which is like a score that shows whether people feel positive, negative, or neutral about the economy. This index is important because it helps us understand how confident people are about spending money. When people feel good about the economy and their own financial situation, they normally spend more than they have. They are more likely to buy things like clothes, gadgets, and cars, which helps businesses grow and create jobs. If the index shows that people are worried, they might spend less, which can slow down the economy. Economists and government officials use this information to make decisions about things like interest rates and economic policies, helping them support a healthy economy. So let's use the Gardner. Let's say a Gardner. All right, and we will say, all right, all right, so let's say undocumented gardener in Texas. How about that? Let's just change it up a little bit, right? Undocumented gardener in Texas. Did I spell gardener wrong? Gardener. All right, there we go. Let's go. Let's check for that. Let's check for that. So, how does this affect an undocumented gardener in Texas? Or landscaper, we should say. Let's see. So, job availability. If the UMCSI score is high, it means people feel good about the economy. This could mean more people are hiring for jobs, including gardening jobs. Our gardener might have more opportunities to find work. Consumer spending. A high UMCSI score also means people are feeling confident and may be spending more money on flowers, plants, and landscaping. This could be great for our gardener because more customers might want to hire them for gardening work. And last, not even sharing the screen. Thought I was sharing the screen. Let's see. And lastly, for our undocumented gardener, if the UMCSI score is low, people feel worried about money. This might mean that our gardener has less work because people aren't spending as much. Additionally, if the economy isn't doing well, the cost of gardening supplies might go up, making it harder for the gardener to make a profit. There we go. The Wealth Building Journey. I love this AI integration because we can just off the cuff create some crazy example and see how what AI gives back to us. So I'm just saying. All right. Let's go to the report, and then we're gonna go to the chat. Oh my God! Every single week, every time we use the University of Michigan, what do they do? What are they doing out there in the University of Michigan? All right. Let's see if we can find it somewhere else. University of Michigan. Consumer sentiment. So that's okay. There we go. But when we click on it, is it actually going to work? That's the question. Let's see. So the index of consumer sentiment is 71.8. Current conditions is 63.9. But we're supposed to get for December, though. Wait a second. We're supposed to get it for December, aren't we? Did they not release it? Because we're supposed to get it for December. What is going on here, University of Michigan? Let's go to... Let me check Bloomberg. Say clear all, world, the United States. We will do confidence, and I think it's the second one. It was 74, actual 74, forecast 74, previous 71. So that's good. Let's see. Is this gonna work? See if this works. All right, we'll use investing.com. So latest release December 20th. 74, previous 71, the University of Michigan. All right, we know what that is. Is there any details though? There's no details. And it's not working. Great. Great job, University of Michigan. Great job, University. Anyways, well, that's it for that. That is it for that. We tried. At least we tried. At least we tried. University of Michigan. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's go to the chat and then we're going to wrap it up for today. Let me see what we got. The World Building Journey says budget and financial. We will table that for next week. And let's see. Borrowing is, said, yup. For when I said we took in less money, our personal income was less than the money that we spent. The card says borrowing is added, credit, loans, etc. Alexis says more is going out than is coming in. The card says people are writing a check that their AZZ cannot cash. Well, when says, yep, most likely from Black Friday spending. I did get me that my robot vacuum and mop on Black Friday, and I'm proud of it. The World says, I should have read the poll more closely. I would have chosen do not come.
Do not come.
I hear you. Let's go wild here. A quantitative analyst. I'm going to save that for next show. Says that is off the chain, an undocumented landscaper in South Texas. I was curious. Just crossed my mind. Says, gotta ask Ton. That's about an hour west of Detroit, and I believe his old stomping ground. Hey. I just used the data that they give us, or that they don't give us, all right? And your card says they get an A for effort. Bruh. Is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Anyways, that is it for today. Let me check the poll. I'm gonna close out the poll. So we had 18%. I had 11 votes. We had 11 votes. Gonna close it out. And we had 72% said they have never eaten an iguana. Okay. I'm with you in that 72%. I am with you in that 72%. We had 18% said yes, they had eaten an iguana before. And then we had 9% said do not come.
Do not come.
No iguanas for them whatsoever. And that was like a more stronger no for the do not come. No, so I'm curious though, how are iguanas cooked? What did it taste like? Did you fry it? Did you smoke it? Did you sous vide it? That might be a good experiment, actually. Sous videing an iguana. Sad. And yeah, did you bake it? Did you slow cook it? Did you pressure cook it? Did you use barbecue sauce? Just wondering. Anyways, we got my friend in the building, Miss Freckles. How you doing, Miss Freckles? Says, have a great Saturday and Sunday, everyone. I have to catch up the replay. I was in a sleeper coma, but I am up. Good morning to you, Miss Freckles. Thank you for stopping by. Always a pleasure.
I appreciate you.
And the Wealth Building Journey says, see, you guys got to be careful with the Wealth Building Journey, because he pulls out the calculator and he says 18%, 2 out of 11, mind blowing information.
Bruh.
And he says 1 person, that could be a dare. 2 people though, 2 people. I hear you, Wealth Building Journey. I hear you. All right, we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you get some good rest today as well, Miss Freckles, and you have a good time. But we're going to wrap it up. See, Wealth Building Journey, have a good time with the family hanging out tonight. We are going to miss you, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun today. Busy, action-packed Saturday. Got a lot of work to do, but we're here. I have a question though. Did you guys have fun today? Did you guys enjoy getting custom examples like right in the middle of the show to say, all right, what can we do? What can we search for? We checked the mortician, which was an L. We checked the astronaut, which was pretty good, you know? Many things. So the question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I had a great time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys know that yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price, because
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
the price of the brick is going up. You guys have a great day. Coding Nurse Roxy, you have a great day. If you are at work, have a good day at work. If you are resting today, enjoy your rest. We're going to get our coding game on. And I'm telling you, you're going to see next year, Roxy's going to be building her own app to help her with her day-to-day job. So it's going to be really, really cool. And Maddox says, this was great on both fronts. And do you mean on both fronts on YouTube and on Twitch, or on the entertainment and the knowledge, or both? All right. I'm just saying. And your car says, reminder, Bible study is starting soon in the Bag Chasers Discord. So you guys make your way over there and enjoy Bible study. But as for me, I am out. You guys have a great day. Tech Coach Ralph is out.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind.
It's Tech Coach Ralph TV.
Yeah, men lying, women lying, numbers manipulate. Don't matter what no one say, I throw the stats away. No need for calculators, we already greater. No need to validate us. It's Tech Coach Ralph TV. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Tech Coach Ralph and Mitch and Yakar, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop the yawning. But I get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie. lie, numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Men lie, women lie. Numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate. Tech coach Ralph and Mitch and yacht car, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Tech coach Ralph and Mitch and yacht car, that's how it be. Shooting galaxies from their hands, it's Tech Coach Ralph TV. You don't need to grab your remote because you'll be floating free. Don't gotta worry about negative forces, it's positivity. Get up, it is Saturday morning. I've got to get my coffee cause I can't stop yawning. Get to watch my favorite show today. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Yeah, number manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. Yeah, numbers manipulate. Numbers manipulate.
Yeah, what a coincidence. I just left the snitching convention. Gold Star member and chairman of this commission. Should've heard the new initiatives I introduced.
All our secrets known to a few. Newbies who leak the info pass the first test because telling is what we do. I'm the king, snitch and no lie to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine.
To get the details out there by the layers, look no further, none greater at portraying a traitor. I got a whole composition, my snitching is top tier. Ain't no other competition informative here.
To get the details out there by the layers, look no further, none greater at portraying a traitor. I got a whole composition, my snitching is top tier. Ain't no other competition informative here. I'm the king, snitching, no lie to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer more mine.
Peers always wonder why I'm gone for at least 10 minutes. They'll figure it out after the judge gives them a life sentence. Who would've thought they'd take care of my whole fam? Made a living by snitching, retiring the witness protection program.
Various photos of who you be with, all sizes for the judges to see it. My old tap wires in the National Law Enforcement Museum. Careful who you chill with and who you're around when you doing real shit. Too late for you, as I tell them myself through these lyrics. Yo, I'm the king, snitch and no lie to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine. No lie to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no longer mine.
What a coincidence. 10 minutes. They'll figure it out after the judge gives them a life sentence. Who would have thought they take care of my whole fam? Made a living by snitching, retiring the witness protection program.
Various photos of who you be with, all sizes for the judges to see it. My old tap wires, after the judge gives them a life sentence. Who would have thought they take care of my whole fam? Made a living by snitching, retiring the witness protection program.
Various photos of who you be with, all sizes for the judges to see it. My old tap wires in the National Law Enforcement Museum. Careful who you chill with and who you around when you doing real shit. Too late for you as I tell on myself through these lyrics. Yeah, yeah.
I'm the king, snitch, no lie to tell. Mess up once and I'll ring your bell. Out of line means out of time. Your dirty secrets are no more